Welcome to the Ellevate Weekly Roundtable. I'm Allison Matizik, the VP of Enterprise Sales here at Ellevate Network, and I'm joined with my co-host, Joanna Polgarin, our Senior Program Manager. I want to give a special warm welcome to our chapter leaders, as well as our corporate partners. I know we have guests from ABA, NFP, Sherman, New York Life, Nutrabolt, and many others. For our roundtables, in just 1 hour, we give you the confidence and knowledge to face your challenges head on and help you confidently and quickly make changes that benefit you and your career and your personal growth. To make the most of our time together, I just want to share a few expectations for the next hour. We encourage active listening. Give your full attention to the speaker and what other attendees are sharing. Also, turn your video on when possible. This helps us feel more comfortable in a room full of familiar faces. Share bravely and participate in the breakout rooms. Listen and share with other members. Have respect for attendees. This is a judgment-free zone, and come in with an open mind. And let's support one another. This can be through advice or just solidarity in another member's situation. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Kelly Cuesta today, who's going to help us talk about how our network can help you conquer self-limiting beliefs. Kelly is the Global Cloud Employer Brand Culture and Engagement Lead at Ingram Micro. She's joining us from London. And we're going to learn strategies to build and leverage relationships in line with your values, a greater understanding of the importance of networking to advance your career, and practical strategies for increasing your network and building deeper relationships. So Kelly, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, team. So hello, everyone. So welcome to our roundtable. So let me share my screen. I have prepared a slide deck for you all to help us for these 30 minutes before our breakout rooms. One sec. All right, I think you can see my screen, correct? Awesome, perfect. Yeah, so today we are here to talk about how we can overcome self-limiting beliefs with that support of our network, right? So as Alison mentioned, my name is Kelly Cuesta. I am based in UK, in London. I am a Latina in technology. I have been part of multinational companies and startups during more than 10 years. And I have been leading marketing and communications team for SaaS businesses. And then currently I am looking after another side of the marketing of brand awareness, let's say, for a company, which is ties into that internal phase, is employer branding and employee engagement. Globally for Ingram Micro, and I am also a diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging advocate. So feel free to get in touch with me anytime. Later, here you have the QR code, so you can send me a note, engage with me on social media, and yeah, continue the conversation. All right, so today's plan, we're gonna talk about how get an understanding about how to advance your career. Based on your network, how you can tie into that powerful networking skills, and then also some strategies for you to increase your network and build deeper and intentional relationships based on your values. So first things first, networking to advance in your career, right? So there is a problem that is not just about women, though it's about all diversity, right? In my case, I have that intersectionality. I am a female. I am part of the technology industry, which is primarily still or dominated by male, right? I am also a non-native native English speaker who is living here in London and working in a global setup for a tech company. So I have been able to embrace my identity and that diversity in the workplace because of different strategies I follow that I will share with you today. However, there is no many as of us, and even less when you look at the top of your industry, the top of your companies. Unfortunately, right now there is still a white dominated and male kind of CEO in technology. So how we can make sure that we do our best of our time and connect and with each other at work and also externally to build that networking that's going to help us to move forward in our career. So here I wanted to just really briefly touch base on self-limiting belief, right? Because sometimes we have that little voice that is sometimes come and go about what we do, what we are capable of. For instance, if we just started a new role or we just got promoted. So maybe at the beginning we get too excited, like, oh yes, I got it, I achieved it. But then suddenly there are some questions there that in our head say like, oh, it's my first time here in the company, or it's my first time in this role. So what happens if I don't know how to, how to make it? What happened, if I'm not successful, if I make a mistake, if I, fail? So those kind of questioning or wondering that we have in our mind, they are the ones that we call it self-limiting belief, right? Is those kind of thoughts that we have and keep us from, having that ambition or that kind of eagerness to follow our dreams, right? So yeah, this is something that we're gonna have there all the time. So there might be triggers that come and go. So it's something that we can learn to recognize the triggers and then be self-aware of them. However, it's something that, is not disappearing. So something that I encourage you all is to realize or notice when you have those kind of self-limiting belief or that voice that is coming to you, just in a way to raise your self-awareness, just to recognize them and notice them, because that is a work in progress that we get better, but obviously always gonna have that kind of self-limiting belief there. So how we can overcome that with our network. So women and network equal to career advancement. This is something that has been key in my career, especially because I am coming from a family who they have not been part of the tech industry at all. So they know about technology, they have businesses, but they haven't worked in technology. So first thing that I did when I just joined the first multinational company back 10 years ago, so I was kind of really curious about what are the different affinity groups that they have or different opportunities for career advancement, like mentorship, right? So that is one of the ways that you can, power yourself and be able to get access to different rooms or opportunities that you cannot see at first, right? So that is how the network influence in that career advancement that you are looking to pursue. So why is important to network for us, especially for women who are part of male-dominated industries like technology, finance, etc. So it's especially important because you can get career opportunities that maybe in a different way you cannot get access to it. I'm gonna give you a quick example. For instance, I was able to engage with one senior leader I haven't worked ever in the past, just to, just because I was curious about her role within the organization and I wanted to know more about that and be able to raise my business acumen. So it was really interesting to know that people, they are keen to help you and they are keen to even help you with different stretching projects and really strategic ones that are going to help you to go next and get a better understanding about the place you want to be. So she was really keen to support me on that way and assign me a stretching project that I was working on and help me to get more exposure, but at the same time to keep myself up to date in terms of that business trends and business acumen internally. So in that way, I was able to access to career opportunities that maybe working in my function, I was not able to at least have visibility of, right? So another reason why it's important to network is because of professional advice and support, looking for mentors, looking for co-mentoring kind of setup of relationship, and also for sponsors who are gonna be advocating for yourself when you are not in the room. That is another opportunity that you can get by networking. Also that help you to engage business relationships and industry relationship. Is not just about internal kind of networking, but also externally. That's gonna help you to raise your profile as a thought leader if you want to, or build your community where you feel more comfortable to, like expand your knowledge about something specific. In my case, I am originally from Ecuador, so I was able to tap into the Latinas in Tech community because I was curious about to know more about the experiences of other South American women in technology. And here in Europe, we didn't have that, right? So I was the one who funded that chapter or community for the Spain community, right? So that is another way that by networking helped me to not only raise my profile, but also to be able to take an active part of that community aspect that was important for me. And then last but not least, the two reasons that are key why you should network more are that fact that you broaden your horizon, and also what I mentioned before with the example, you increase your visibility as well and position yourself as a professional, right? Or as a thought leader based on the goals that you have careers level. So yeah, you get access to different resources, and then also that helped you to raise your, more around your self-awareness, and then see what you would like to do next as well. Mm-hmm. So let's go to the strategies to build leverage your relationship in line with your values, right? We're gonna do an exercise later in breakout rooms where we're gonna go deeper into what are your values. However, I'm gonna share some strategies that have worked out for me and how you can apply them, okay? So first of all, it's important to know your why, right? So clarify your values because it's not about a transactional kind of relationship, but it's more around a collaboration one, right? So before you can build relationships in line with your values, you need to have a clear understanding of, what are you looking for and what are your values, right? So it's necessary to spend some time reflecting on that personal, professional values that you have, and make sure that they are aligned with the actions and the decisions that you are making, right? So as I said, we're gonna do an exercise on values. So I hope that's gonna be helpful for you to move forward in terms of networking. So then second step is audit. So it's important to know where we are at the moment in terms of networking. What is our network like? They are our organization network. They are outside. It's important to find a balance, and the reason why is because internally, when you are networking, that help you to raise your profile internally in terms of promotion, or if you want to do like move a lateral move as well. So that is really relevant. However, I really encourage you to have a balance of both of them, internal and external, because you always want to keep yourself up to date and also visible as a professional in case that something, there is a better opportunity outside, or just because you want to make sure that you keep yourself up to date in terms of trends. So I would really encourage you to try to find the balance externally and internally within your organization. So so how are you networking? What do you do to network? Do you do virtual coffees? Do you do you put a call out on LinkedIn or in any social media to engage with people about specific topics, or do you engage directly via DMs internally within your organization, right? So it's important to have that starting point with that audit exercise. Then how to build up a new relationship, right? So it's important to diversify your networks and identify how you can create value through this relationship. For instance, what I mentioned before. So I am leading Latinas in Tech community for Spain because I feel there is a lack of visibility of role models there from South America and even women in general in technology, right? So that was one of my interests in terms of diversity and inclusion. So I am building the relationships there based on that specific interest and the value of connection that I have, right? So it's important to build something based on what you are looking for, not only achieve, but also what is a kind of win-to-win relationship and the key interests that you would like to leverage based on that relationship. Then you are able to connect with relevant, like-minded people from communities aligned with your values, or even communities of your interest because of your function if you are working in marketing. So maybe there is a kind of committee for chief marketers, international one, for instance, right? So you can join there and be able to keep yourself up to date in terms of marketing. Then another step is reformulate the networking instead of what I mentioned before, thinking about something really purely transactional when you need to. So it's important to see networking as building something that is mutual beneficial, right? And learning together or helping one another. There is a new term that was really interesting. I just discovered that by a chance, is co-mentoring, where both of the mentors, they are really keen to, learn from each other, but they don't have different kind of tenure in terms of career experience. So both of them, they have similar interests. Maybe they are not working in the same function, but they want to learn more about something specific. So they go together in that journey as a co-mentors. And that I think is really, really relevant, especially when you are, in that mid-career level or just want to get access to people management. So that helps you to get a better understanding and have someone else together in that journey, right? Then the last step is express yourself and be strategic. So it's not about doing everything at once. It's not about trying to connect with everyone on LinkedIn internally and then, have like a busy schedule for it. It's more around be strategic around what you want to achieve, what are the values, have clarity on the values that you have and how you can leverage them. And then also, what are those kind of interests that you would like to, use as target for connection with others, right? I think that is important because everyone currently, we are so busy in terms of that hybrid virtual environment. So it's important to be strategic as much as possible. So here are some strategies, and then we're gonna go for the breakout rooms. So different steps where you can network, right? Or you can amplify, expand your networking skill set. So first of all, you can join events like Ellevate. Ellevate is a network that has really diverse kind of audience, but also diversity in terms of events. So you can join these events, from everywhere, which is great because, I'm based here in London, and sometimes it's difficult to have this kind of interaction. So I am really grateful for it. So join industry events, associations, or communities like Ellevate. And then second of all, prioritize and commit to show up on key activities. It's not a matter of joining every single one. Is more about be strategic where you want to spend your time on and what kind of events you want to join, right? Then third step for networking that is really, really powerful is mentoring. So I am really grateful for my mentors that they have helped me to get more clarity in terms of career advancement, and then also in terms of sorry, there is some, okay, perfect. In terms of where I want to go and how to get there. So right now I am paying forward and I am mentoring aspiring leaders from marginalized groups as well, because I think that is something that is important to me and that makes a difference in other people's lives. So mentoring is one of the key ways to network. And then last but not least, follow up and stay in touch. If right now, so you connect with someone, from here, from the event, we're gonna go to breakout rooms and you connect with someone on LinkedIn. So send a note, send a really short kind of message saying like, hey, so we met in Ellevate. So what do you think about the event? Or something like that, gonna help you to build up momentum and keep it going. It's not about, like message each other every single day. However, keep that kind of intention and why you wanted to connect in a meaningful way with that individual. I think that is important. Yeah, so before we go into breakout rooms, so I have a pre-work, okay, for you all to set the tone, for us to have that breakout session. So the first question for you, if you have a piece of paper, so it could be helpful because we're gonna go through values development exercise. So the first question that I would like you to reflect is, when was the last time that you gave up on something and why, right? And this ties into that self-limiting beliefs that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. So this is the first question. So do you remember when was that and why? And then the second question is, when was the last time that you failed or you feel that you failed, right? And what did you tell yourself about the reason for your failure? And on this one, I'm gonna give you an example. For instance, a colleague, they say, oh, I think I didn't do it good in this meeting, for instance. However, I didn't see that, but maybe my colleague, she was too nervous and freaking out inside, but she managed that in a really assertive way. So my feedback for her, it could be something along the lines, you know what, you did the best that you could, and this was, an opportunity for you to learn more about how to present, and it's normal to be nervous. However, if it's something that I reflect on how I did a presentation, maybe I will be tougher on me and I will be like thinking, oh, why I forgot about this? Why I didn't mention this? Why, right? So when was the last time that you fail or you feel you fail? And what did you tell yourself about the reason for your failure? So let's reflect on this, like just 1 minute for you, and then we're gonna move to the breakout rooms. I will share with you a slide with the prompts that they will be shared as well by chat. And yeah, so we start with the breakout room. So let's have a 1 minute just to reflect. All right, so time flies. So 1 minute already. So this is the exercise that we're gonna cover during the breakout rooms, right? So first of all, we can identify our values. So here are different prompts that you can use to identify them. So write down a list of 5 to 10 values that come to mind when you ask yourself the question, what is most important to you in life, right? For example, if you are thinking, I value, like a loving relationship with my partner. So I suggest you just name that value like love. Or if you feel, oh, I feel really energized when I connect with others. So just put one word, connection, for instance. So second of all, we're gonna list our prioritization. So priorities, okay, set up. So this can be, sometimes a bit time consuming, but it's necessary to coach yourself and asking questions like, which one of these is really the most important to me? If I can only experience one of the values, which will I choose? Is value X more important to me than value Y, for instance? So, it's about prioritize because we have limited time in life, we have other priorities. So what could you say they are your top 5, for instance, out of the 7 or out of the 10 that you selected, right? And then the last step that we're gonna do during the breakout rooms is review your list and use it in the sense of you're gonna set up what you're gonna say yes and no to based on your list of values, right? So for instance, for me, it might be a value connection with like-minded individuals, right? So maybe instead of spending time go for a movie, so I spend time having a chat over dinner or over lunch with people from my community, right? So in that regards is how the values, plays a role into that networking aspect. So now we're gonna break out in rooms and you're gonna have, I don't remember, Joanna, Allison, if you can help me with that, how how much time they're gonna have on the breakout rooms.
Yeah, we'll probably have around 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, Joanna.
Yeah, I think 20 minutes is good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
These are so great, Kelly. They're so important to stop and think about. It's things that like I always want to just stop and pause and think about, but just keep going and going and going, right? So thank you. Thank you for sharing these. Does anyone have any questions for Kelly before we go into rooms? All right, well, this is where the magic happens. Maricela used to say what happens in a breakout room stays in a breakout room. We don't record the sessions, just do some very brief introductions. There is not an Ellevate facilitator, and we'll see you back in about 20 minutes.
Awesome. Lovely. So thank you, everyone. So if you can just share maybe 1 minute, just unmute yourself and share some, aha moments that you had during the breakout, or feel free to share that over the chat. So then, it will be interesting to know how you feel about it. If it was the first time you did something like that. Yeah. So anyone who would like to share their thoughts about this experience?
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
It's Michelle. Huh? I'm always talking. Y'all know that. Sorry, ladies. How you doing? My group was.
Don't apologize. We love hearing from you.
My group was a good group, but these were some great questions, and they were so great. We couldn't narrow it down in just a few minutes. We felt that these are some topics that can provide some real important directions in your life. So what we're doing is we're going to think about it and get back to one another in a couple of days, because we didn't just want to frivolously say, oh, this, and this without any real thought, because these are identifying of yourself, and to do it in those few minutes, we weren't comfortable at that time. So we're going to circle back after sitting down and doing some real soul searching to answer these questions. But we thought the questions themselves are awesome.
Amazing. That is
Mhm.
great. That is how networking just happened, really organically.
Yes.
Awesome. Anyone else would like to share something about their experience during this exercise? I see that you are sharing your LinkedIn, pages. So this is awesome. Just feel free to, continue with that and then connect with each other after. I'm gonna share really quickly, kind of follow up or action plan for you guys. If you would like to continue with this conversation, as you mentioned, Michelle. So I think this could be helpful for you all. So let me share again my screen. All right, so this is the action plan. So now that we have at least reflect on what are our values and how we identify them on how we network. So this is an action plan with two main kind of steps for you, all to be able to work more on those values and that networking aspect, right? So the first one is, what are the 3 values that you will leverage this month? Okay, just choose 3 out of the 10 or the 5 that you discovered during the breakout. And then the second step is engage with the network. So what are the 3 actions that you're gonna do to engage with your network? Or if you don't have yet a really solid network, for instance, internally, you have a network externally, your org, but internally you haven't done so much. So what you're gonna do, what are the 3 actions that you're gonna do to engage with your network during this month? So this is all. Please feel free to screenshot this, or I'm gonna share the link to the slide deck here in the chat if you want to get back to it. And then also, because this is all about networking, so thank you so much for your time. Feel free, I really invite you all to connect with me. I am active on LinkedIn especially, but you have my other 2 social media accounts there. Yes, scan the QR code and feel free to connect. I will be happy to continue the conversation there. And yeah, I hope it was really valuable for you all. And I hope that you take note of some main takeaways from this session. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Anyone have any more questions for Kelly before we go? I know our chair, Sally Krawcheck, always used to say that building a network is similar to like building your 401k, right? You need it. You can't wait until you need it, right? You have to start nurturing it, building it over time. And these are some really great steps that we can all take to build a diverse network and those relationships. Next week, join us back next week. We're going to talk about building a stellar resume. Tell your friends about Ellevate, please. We have that free trial going on now. And thank you all for being here and supporting what we do. Thank you, Kelly, so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.